After hosting Christmas for 3 years, I told my husband's family it was their turn. His mother sneered, "You're the wife. This is your job." My husband sighed, "It's easier if you just do it." Instead, I booked a surprise trip. When they showed up to our house, they found a note that left them stunned. I used to love Christmas. The lights, the music, the food, everything about it felt magical. But that was before I married into my husband's family. Before I got stuck hosting Christmas every single year. For 3 years in a row, I cooked, cleaned, decorated, and played the perfect host while his family treated my house like a free holiday venue. They never helped, never said thank you, and always had something to complain about. I never fought it. I just smiled and did what was expected of me. Until this year. This year, I snapped. It was early November when it hit me. I was scrolling through Instagram, seeing friends post about their holiday plans, cozy getaways, relaxed family gatherings, even people not hosting at all, when a thought I had been pushing down for years finally surfaced. Why am I the only one hosting Christmas? So, I asked my husband, Brian. We were cleaning up after dinner, and I tried to bring it up casually. "Hey, I was thinking," I said, wiping down the counter. "We've hosted Christmas the last 3 years. Maybe someone else can take a turn this year?" Brian didn't even look up from his phone. "It's just easier if you do it." "Easier? If I do it?" I stared at him. "Easier for who?" He sighed, finally putting his phone down. "Look, you know how my mom is. If we ask her to host, she'll make a huge deal out of it. It's just tradition." Tradition. That was the excuse. My time, effort, money, and energy were all sacrificed for tradition. I could feel my patience wearing thin, but I wasn't ready to argue. Yet. I decided to go straight to the source. I called his mother, Carol, the next day. The second I brought up the idea of her hosting, she laughed. "Oh, honey," she said in that sickly sweet, condescending tone. "You're the wife. This is your job." My job. I hung up without arguing. I sat in silence for a while, just staring at the wall. Then Brian walked in, sipping coffee like nothing was wrong. "She said it's my job," I told him. He just shrugged. "That's just how she is. Don't take it personally." "Not personally?" Oh, I wasn't taking it personally. I was taking it seriously. I didn't fight. I didn't argue. I didn't bring it up again. I just smiled. Then I booked a 5-day trip to Mexico. All-inclusive. Beachfront. Spa treatments. Fancy dinners. A Christmas with no in-laws, no cooking, no stress. I didn't tell anyone. I let them believe Christmas was happening as usual at my house. I even decorated like normal, lights on the porch, tree in the living room, stockings hung. I set the dining table beautifully, like I was expecting guests. Then, on Christmas Eve morning, I packed my bags, left for the airport, and taped a note to the front door. At exactly 3 p.m., when they were all supposed to arrive, I was boarding my flight. That's when my phone exploded. Carol called first. "Where are you?" Then Brian. "Babe, what's going on?" Then his sister. "Mom is screaming on the porch." I smiled, put my phone on airplane mode, and ordered a cocktail. I landed in Mexico late that evening. By the time I checked into my resort and settled into my ocean view room, my phone had collected dozens of missed calls and texts. I scrolled through the messages, half expecting something serious, maybe an emergency, maybe someone died. Nope, just pure, undiluted rage. "Carol, you selfish, ungrateful brat. How could you do this to the family?" "Brian, call me. Now." Brian's sister. "WTF is wrong with you?" "Mom is crying." Carol again. "We are standing outside in the cold." "Where are you?" Brian again. "Why would you do this without saying anything?" His aunt, who I didn't even invite. "I flew in for this. You ruined Christmas." It was almost funny. These people had never thanked me for hosting 3 years in a row. Never acknowledged the hours I spent cooking, cleaning, and making sure everything was perfect. But the one time I didn't do it, it was suddenly the crime of the century. I could picture it so clearly, Carol in the driveway, arms flailing, voice screeching. The rest of them standing there, waiting for me to magically appear and fix everything. But all they got was my note. "Merry Christmas. Since it's my job to host, I've decided to take my holiday vacation days this year. Please enjoy this time together, without me. See you in the new year. Love." The former Christmas host. I imagined their faces when they read that. And then I imagined Carol nearly passing out from rage. I laughed, set my phone aside, and ordered room service. The next morning, I turned my phone back on. More texts. More missed calls. And one voicemail from Brian. I sighed and pressed play. "Are you serious right now? Mom is freaking out." Everyone showed up and had to drive home because nothing was ready. We had to get takeout for Christmas dinner. "Takeout? You humiliated me. Call me back." I didn't call him back. Instead, I texted, "Not my problem." Because it wasn't. But Brian didn't let it go. That afternoon, he called again. This time, I answered. The second I picked up, he exploded. "I cannot believe you did this." "Did what?" I asked calmly, sipping my drink. "You left me to deal with the mess. Mom is still pissed. She says you need to apologize." I let out a short laugh. "Apologize for what?" "For ruining Christmas." "Brian," I said, "I hosted Christmas 3 years in a row. Did anyone ever thank me?" Silence. "Did you ever thank me?" More silence. "Exactly," I said. "And when I asked your mom to host, she said it was my job. So I took a vacation." He huffed. "You could have at least warned me." I raised an eyebrow, even though he couldn't see me. "Oh, so I do need help planning Christmas?" "That's not what I meant." "Sounds like it is." Another silence. Then, his voice dropped. "Look, you made your point. Can you at least fix this?" I laughed again. "No, Brian. I'm on vacation." And I hung up. I thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. Later that night, I got a text from a very unexpected person. Brian's dad. Now, here's the thing about Brian's dad. The man is quiet. Too quiet. He lets Carol run the show and rarely gets involved. So when I saw his name pop up on my screen, I was confused. Brian's dad. Call me when you have a moment. I hesitated. Then curiosity got the best of me. When I called, he picked up immediately. "Hello?" I said cautiously. Then he did something I never expected. He laughed. A deep, full-bellied laugh. "Oh, honey," he said, still chuckling. "You have no idea how much I've been waiting for someone to do this." I blinked. "Wait. What?" He sighed, and for the first time ever, I heard exhaustion in his voice. "Carol is impossible. She's been pulling this crap for years, making everyone cater to her while she does nothing. She's been spoiled her whole life. I gave up fighting her a long time ago." I sat up in bed. "So, you're not mad?" "Mad?" He laughed again. "No. I wish I had the guts to do what you did." I didn't know what to say. "Listen," he said. "I just wanted you to know. Not everyone in this family thinks you're the villain. Some of us know exactly what you've been putting up with." I was stunned. For years, I thought I was alone in this. That everyone in Brian's family was against me. But now, here was his dad, saying out loud what I had been thinking for years. I took a deep breath. "Thank you." "No, honey," he said. "Thank you. This Christmas was the most peaceful one I've had in decades." Then he hung up. And for the first time in years, I felt free. After that call with Brian's dad, I actually felt good. For the first time in years, someone in that family understood what I had been dealing with. But my peace didn't last long. The next morning, I woke up to another flood of texts. But these weren't just from Brian. Carol, Brian's sister, even random family members I barely spoke to. And they weren't just angry. They were accusing me of something. Brian's sister, "What is wrong with you? You just had to ruin everything." Carol, "I always knew you were a snake. Now I have proof." Brian, "You went too far. I don't even know if we can fix this." I sat up, rubbing my eyes. What the hell were they talking about? Then I saw it. A screenshot from the family group chat. And my jaw dropped. Someone had sent an email from my email address to the entire family. And it was bad. It read, "Subject, the truth about Carol. Since Carol thinks it's my job to cater to her, I think it's only fair that everyone knows the truth. Carol has never hosted Christmas because she is lazy and entitled. She treats people like servants and expects them to bow down to her. She has spent years manipulating her family into doing everything for her while she sits on her throne. Well, I'm done. And maybe it's time the rest of you wake up too. Merry Christmas, your former host." I froze. I did not send that email. But it was from my account. Someone had hacked into my email and sent this to every single family member. And now? They thought I did it. My stomach dropped. Who would do this? Then, suddenly, it clicked. Brian. He had access to my laptop. He knew my passwords. He was the only one who could have done this. And the worst part? He wanted to make me the villain. I sat there, staring at the screen, feeling my anger rise like a tidal wave. Brian had spent years watching his mother treat me like crap. He knew exactly how unfair it was. He knew I was right. But instead of standing up for me, instead of accepting that I had every right to leave, he chose to punish me for it. By turning his family against me. And that was war. I sat there, staring at my phone, my hands shaking with rage. Brian had done this. I knew it in my gut. I replayed every conversation, every moment leading up to this. The way he dismissed me when I asked for a break. The way he shrugged when his mom told me hosting was my job. The way he told me I went too far after I left. And now he had framed me. I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself, but my heart was pounding. I needed to hear him say it. So I called him. It rang once. Twice. Then he answered. Before he could say anything, I went straight for the kill. You hacked my email. Silence. Then, what are you talking about? You know damn well what I'm talking about, Brian. My voice was calm, but my hands were clenched into fists. Someone sent a fake email from my account, and it wasn't me. Who else had access to my laptop? Who else knew my passwords? More silence. Then, a deep sigh. You don't understand, he said, his voice defensive. There it was. The confession. You actually did it, I whispered, stunned. You went behind my back and tried to make me look like the villain. Brian groaned. No, I cut him off. You weren't just anything. You weren't just mad. You weren't just hurt. You were trying to turn your family against me. To make me look like the bad guy. I was pacing now, too angry to sit still. You knew how they'd react, I continued. You knew they already hate me for not catering to them. You used that against me. You let them think I sent that email. Brian's voice turned desperate. I was just trying to make a point. A point? I let out a sharp, bitter laugh. You sent a fake email, Brian. You lied to your own family. You turned them against me. You let them humiliate me, knowing it was your doing. He exhaled loudly. I was mad, okay? You left me to deal with their disappointment. You just walked away like it was nothing. Do you know how that felt? Oh, you mean like how I felt for 3 years of doing all the work while you sat back and watched? I snapped. You mean how I felt when your mom told me it was my job to host Christmas, and you just sat there and said nothing? Silence again. I swallowed hard, my throat tight with anger, and something close to heartbreak. You could have just admitted you were wrong. You could have stood up to your mother. But instead, you tried to punish me. Brian let out another sigh. I didn't think it would blow up like this. I almost laughed at how pathetic that sounded. You didn't think I'd find out? I asked, voice sharp. Or you didn't think I'd do something about it? I hung up. But I wasn't done. I immediately screenshotted the fake email and forwarded it to the entire family group chat with a message attached. Nice try, Brian. For anyone wondering, I didn't write this. Brian did. Since he wants to expose truths, here's one. I hosted Christmas for 3 years without a single thank you. This year, I asked for a break and Carol told me it was my job. So I took a vacation. That's all. If you want to be mad at someone, be mad at the person who lied to you. Not me. Then I turned off my phone. And waited. I didn't have to wait long. Less than 5 minutes later, my phone exploded again. Carol, you're lying. Brian would never do that. Brian's sister, OMG. What the actual hell? Brian, why would you do this? Then, the best message of all. Brian's dad. Guess the truth finally came out. I grinned. And then my phone rang. Carol. I almost declined it. But then I thought, why not? I picked up. What the hell is wrong with you? She screeched. You are trying to tear this family apart. First you abandoned Christmas, then you spread lies about my son. They're not lies, I said, cutting her off. He admitted it. She faltered. No, he wouldn't. He did. I let the silence stretch. And then, in a calm, steady voice, I said, you want the real reason you're mad? It's not because I left for Christmas. It's because I stopped being your servant. And that terrifies you. I could hear her breathing heavily on the other end. I'm done, Carol, I said. Find someone else to boss around. Then I hung up. And blocked her number. Brian texted me over and over for the next 2 days. I ignored him. He tried guilt. Then anger. Then begging. Babe, let's just talk. You embarrassed me in front of my family. You didn't have to block my mom. Come home. Let's fix this. No, Brian. You don't get to fix something you destroyed. By the time I got back from my vacation, I had already made up my mind. I walked into our house, looked around at the space I had spent years making into a home. A home where I was never truly respected. Then, calmly, I grabbed a suitcase and started packing. Brian walked in, eyes wide. What are you doing? I zipped up my suitcase. Leaving. His face paled. Wait, no. Let's talk. Let's fix this, I turned to face him. You had 3 years to fix this, Brian. You had 3 years to stand up for me. You had 3 years to say, thank you. And instead, you framed me for something I didn't do. He swallowed hard. I was just mad. And I'm mad too, I said. But I didn't destroy my own marriage over it. His face crumbled. So that's it? I picked up my bag. That's it. And I walked out. I filed for divorce. Brian's family still hates me, but I don't care. The only person who ever reached out was Brian's dad. All he said was, I hope you find happiness. And you know what? I did. The next Christmas, I was in Bali, sipping a cocktail. Completely free.